sometimes the biggest story in sports becomes the biggest story in the news, and that clearly was the case today, as an arrest was made on suspicion of manslaughter in Adam Johnson's death. Adam Johnson, who was the former Pittsburgh Penguins player who died on the ice in a freak incident, I'm going to say incident, a few weeks ago, in which his neck was slashed by the skate blade of an opposing player. In the beginning, when this story was reported, it was a freak accident, and I didn't want to go see the video of it because it was, why do I want to see it? Why does anybody want to see that? And then it was one of those days where when I first got online and got on Twitter, it's like someone got the video and put it up online, right? It's a league in England, and you see the play, and I'll paint the picture for you without getting into the graphic details, because I completely understand why there are charges of manslaughter against the person they arrested, and we are thinking that it's Matt Petgrave, who was the player whose skate blade it was that cut Adam Johnson's neck, and he bled to death on the ice and on his way to the hospital. When I saw this and I saw it being reported as a freak accident, I said, this is not an accident. This is a dirty play that got way out of hand. All right. Now, the play is, Mike, you and I both being hockey fans, I played hockey for a long time in my life. I can tell you about this play. Adam Johnson is skating over the blue line, and there is with the puck on the left side of the boards. And he's skating over the line, and a teammate is kind of skating in towards him, and it looks like Adam Johnson's supposed to stop. His teammate's going to get in deep and then be an option for a pass or a rebound off a shot. And Petgrave, the defender, is right on the tail of this player. Mm-hmm. He's trailing him into the zone. And Adam Johnson stops because he's like, picture, if you haven't seen it, picture a skater going straight down the side, and he's kind of stopping because he wants to set up the play, like who's coming in, who's streaking in. He wants to hit somebody with a pass, and you have the player who is skating kind of towards him at an angle, and Petgrave is right behind him. Now, Johnson's got the puck, and it looks like he's going to stop, and he can make a decision. He can either try to shoot the puck closer to the net, find somebody, or buy time by stopping and kind of skirting along inside the blue line and making space. And because Petgrave and his teammate are flying past him. When he stops, Petgrave loses his balance, and his skate blade comes all the way up, accidentally cuts Adam Johnson's neck. They stop play, and after that, you see what happens. And when I saw this play, I said, this is not an accident. Not that he meant to kill him, obviously, but this was a dirty play because you can see him kick his leg up really high, and people's legs don't get up that high in hockey. They don't. What he was trying to do was one of two things. Either he wanted to give him a shot, like in the chest or something, like I want to, if you're going to try to get by me.
Take a knee to the solar plexus.
Or more than likely, I'm going to flash my leg up in the air so it stops you from cutting over to the middle. Because if he goes over to the middle, he's got a lot of ice to work with. He comes in, he gets a shot on goal, or something else happens. So one of those two things, either my leg is up in the air to either I'm going to clock you in the chest up high and make you pay for it, or I'm going to try to scare you or make you hesitate before you can cut over. And what happens is obviously his skate blade gets the neck of Adam Johnson. And yeah, I get why they're going after charges on this because that was a dirty play. I mean, you get your skate up. Nobody gets their skate up. I've never seen someone skate up that high in the NHL ever. I mean, even when people get knocked on their butts off of checks, their skates are lower.
Well, there's actually a play from tonight's game between the Flames and Canadians that's starting to make the rounds a little bit, where you get a little bit of an entanglement, and then as a player goes over, the foot comes up into the facial area of another player from the Canadians. So we're keeping an eye on that and updates along the way. But yeah, to your point, you see the knee kind of catches, the knee from Petgrave hits Johnson first, and then the leg extends.
Yeah.
And that's where we get the contact. You got extra skaters and trying to set up a play, right? Because if you look at just the clip that's made the rounds, you have 4 defenders and there's only two. He's only got one teammate, Johnson, in the foreground. A third skates in at the end. It's not, so he's just trying to stop the play.
It's not an odd man rush. Yeah. It's not a play where, hey, they're putting pressure on us. He's trying to get and it's not a play where they have an advantage. This is, hey, we're over the line. We're trying to get something going here when we're 2-on-4 here.
Yeah.
And this is why I look at Petgrave and I go, okay, he's trying to really, like I said, either get him in the chest, which is going to stop the play and stop him, or to stop him from cutting over to the middle and getting open ice. But he knew what he was doing when he put his leg up in the air.
Oh, 100%.
There's no doubt in my mind he knew what he was doing. I'm going to do this, and it's dangerous, but I'm going to do this because this is how I want to make this
play.
Right,
the intent is to be physical, and again, catching him with the knee and the pads initially, and I think that's the intent, right? I stop him on a dime here. Instead, the skate gets up, and we have the loss of life, and now for the last couple of weeks trying to parse this out. I don't know, and I've not seen any accounting in any of the reports from the game of any physicality or encounters, that might have precipitated something to escalate to this point. But certainly a tragedy on the ice, manslaughter charges, right? Different from murder when we talk about being the foresight, the forethought and intent of the deadly act. So just a grisly moment in a sport that we love. We obviously know blades. There's been a lot of improvement in a lot of the equipment, and there's always the debate on what you can do to safeguard against these type of incidences. And certainly in the aftermath of that'll come forward again.
And not to make this, I don't want to say worse than it is, because how could you make it worse? Petgrave had his first game the other night, and he got a standing ovation.
No, that's right.
At home. I mean, again, this you're talking about a league in Europe, but I'm like, you got a standing ovation. I get that he's back, but you saw the play, right? I mean, people, if you see the play and you know anything about the sport, you know that he kicked that leg up, and this is the big phrase, with purpose. He put that leg up in the air with purpose. This was not, I lost control of my legs, because that doesn't happen that high. You're talking about a guy who was falling down, supposedly, falling straight down. How does your leg get up that high unless you're trying it? Right? He's almost like using his left leg as like a joist to try to, I can use this and tilt his whole body where his torso and his arms are going towards the ground and his left leg is coming up, and he kicks over at him. I mean, with purpose. That's what I said. That's with purpose.
Well,
that was a play that he tried to do.
Up, right? You didn't get knocked into by the other skaters, your teammate or Johnson's teammate, to where you would have lost your balance or had any of that transpire. So yeah, that's where the case comes in, and I get it. The fans trying to be supportive. This guy's back on the ice, obviously a harrowing experience, but we have a loss of life, right? There becomes the reality and recognition of the situation for what it is, and now we get charges filed today, and obviously it's a case we'll all be watching with great interest as we go, because your daughter playing youth sports, my daughter playing youth sports, you see some dangerous stuff that happens, right? Wearing cleats and spikes up, whether it's covering a base, or how many times do we see a bad tackle? Like anytime a girl at any level or men watching even all the way to the EPL, they go for a slide tackle, I retrench in my seat. Like I get nervous that we're going to see the high contact where they come in on the high ankle, or they catch the shin, or all of a sudden we've got a leg buckling. So whenever it happens in youth sports, I'm on the edge of my seat, and not for the good reasons that you want to be for your kids playing soccer or basketball or whatever it is. You get those dangerous plays. We were talking about it before, right? The fracases in these NBA games today. And did you step into my lane to get back down on the court after a jump shot, intentional or not? Like all of those things, there's gamesmanship, and then there's dangerous and reckless play, and this is beyond a shadow of a doubt reckless.
Right, and because that's the difference, because you talk about the plays that, your heart's in your throat because here comes a play that you don't know how it can get out of control. Now, is it always a dirty play? No, it's just a physical play that because of the size of players, you don't know. This could get out of. Here's a bigger 14-year-old girl versus a smaller 14-year-old girl.
The inability to execute the move, right? You go to try to do a slide tackle.
Right, because you're not a professional.
You don't do it a lot, and you're like, hey, I've got this in my arsenal now because I've done it with a coach a couple of times.
But this is a guy who knew what he was doing.
He's a professional.
He knew exactly. I know what I'm doing, getting my leg up in the air. Not for a second. I'm going to try to kill him and slash his face or anything like that.
Right.
But do I want to stop him from making a play? And either that's a skate to the chest or it's stopping you from, whoa, a skate blade just ran across my vision, and now I'm pausing for a second, and I lose control of the puck, or I can't skate to the middle of the ice and make some room for a shot. That's what this was, and that's why when I look, I go, yeah, I get filing charges against him because that was the intent. He did that with purpose. You can't tell me he didn't. You can't tell me that wasn't the case.
100%.
And just watch it. I never wanted to watch it, but it just so happened, it just popped in. I'm like, what is this? Oh my God, that's that play. And I've never watched it past 2 seconds after that. Like you see,
most
Adam
clips
Johnson
go
skate
after
and it stops.
The impact,
right, and that's it. I'm like,
yeah.
okay, so you can actually see it without seeing the aftermath of it, and you watch and you see the leg go up and go, that's not natural. That's not a natural falling down of falling and this, I lost my balance. I did this. That is, he knew what he was doing. He knew where Johnson was. He knew what the player he was tailing was doing. And as I'm going down, and I don't know that he thought about it. If I'm just trying to get into it now, I don't know if he thought about it. This is what I'm going to do on this play. But falling down is when you make that split decision. I'm going to do this and stop him from making a play. Right? Like in the falling down, it's, oh man, I'm taking myself out of the play. How do I do the best thing possible for my team? And that's getting my skate up, which is big time wrong and dirty. But I think that was probably where it is in that heat of the moment of, I'm taking myself out of the play now.
Yeah, the more I've watched it, I don't think he's falling at all. And again, this is me, Zapruder film and watching it frame for frame.
Because you only have that one angle.
Right, that's all we got.
One angle of
right?
it. Yeah, that's it.
The Johnson's teammate skates by, and it looks like he pauses, like he's going to deliver a blow.
Yeah,
and he's going to stop him in his tracks right there. And then he stumbles because he makes contact with one of Johnson's legs, and that's when he stumbles to the ice. Just in a horrible situation. Again, we'll keep an eye on it as it gets into the courts and the next phases of this. But all thoughts to Johnson's family, friends, teammates who were on the ice and all those people in the arena that watched this unfold. That's not something you're forgetting.
Now, you say that, and Johnson's aunt, Carrie Johnson, put out this statement just a few moments ago because, again, this is new news today about the arrest, and police have not said that they arrested Matt Petgrave, but, who else are they going to – I mean, this is what happened. She put out this statement saying, quote, she is glad the police are doing what they're supposed to be doing and that they're being diligent. We're just going to have to let it play out and see what happens. Whatever they've decided, I would have had to live with it. But I'm just glad they're being diligent with doing what they're supposed to be doing. And it is. They're supposed look at this and go, was this a malicious intent for something, for some kind of mischief or criminal mischief or something? Was this some kind of intent that is not in the rules with hockey? And when it comes down to it, yeah, the rules of life and the laws of society actually get onto a hockey ring. Oh, we don't have rules. No, it's rules apply. You can't get away with something on a field of play that you wouldn't be able to get away with off the field of play. So I'm glad they're doing this because this to me, that's what it is. Now, I don't know where you go from this because what's Petgrave going to say? I was falling. I didn't know what I was doing. What are you going to get? Right? I mean, I don't know where you're going to get from this, and this has got to be where, however it's decided, it's going to be in a situation like this where people are going to see that play. There will be experts testifying who will probably say a lot of things that you and I are saying about it because that's what the play was, and you'll have to decide from there. Does this guy deserve to go to prison for it? Does he not? And then he's going to talk and he's going to take the stand and say what he has to say. And that's how this is going to go. It's going to be a very, very weird way that this actually unfolds.
Well, but as you try to mount, your case, you're going to go back and find all footage you can of him with physicality, potentially where there might have been reckless not
previously
shooting.
in his career.
Right? How many
yeah.
times has he, done one of these? And on the other side, and I'm seeing it, as the day has gone on, and certainly here into the evening as the NHL games all coming to ends here on a Tuesday night, is, well, look, here's this guy slipping. Here's one of the greatest skaters ever, and look at how he loses his feet. So that's the other argument, is that it can happen that fast. So you're going to see a lot of this play out with everybody trying to roll through. Here's, Petgrave's history, and on the other side, here's as many incidences of top skaters and players in the heat of a moment losing their ability to keep skating forward, losing their foot, losing their traction, whatever the case is, being knocked off, and their legs flying in the air. That's what you're going to see. You're going to see that battle play out, and we'll see how it gets to courtroom. But from the statement from Johnson's aunt, yeah, you just at least want to see an investigation. You want people to take it seriously and have it come to an end to make a determination.